Welcome to the Mystic Access Podcast, where the magic is in learning.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the May 27th, 2025 episode of the Mystic Access Podcast. She's Kim.
He's Chris.
And we have lots of exciting stuff to talk about. At least we hope it is.
We do hope it is. We have a blast from the past. We've got some possibly helpful public service info to share with you that we just found out. Hopefully you'll find some goodies in this episode.
Yeah, I kind of knew about the public service thing, but I didn't think it could be so... But anyway, we'll deal with that.
We'll deal with that. We'll get there. There. That's the last thing, but we will come to that later. Let's start out with...
Welcome to a blast from the past.
My mother was going through her home, and she was unloading stuff. And back in 2009, I gave her a coffee maker, a talking coffee maker, the world's first talking coffee maker, which is really kind of cool. So it's a 10-cup coffee maker, and it's a stainless steel coffee maker. And kind of the cool thing about it is that you can talk to it, and it can talk back.
Just remember one thing, and you'll see this when we demo it for you. This is 2009 technology.
Yes, it's not your Alexa or your Google Home, for that matter, or even your SIRI. So possibly the voice recognition may or may not be the greatest. It may get it, and it may not. On the front of the coffee maker, there are 4 buttons. The 2 left buttons are, top left is hours, and bottom left is minutes.
Unfortunately,
you get no speech feedback.
You get no speech feedback with these. So you're pretty much on your own if you're trying to get this thing set up manually. You're going to have to either call with a visual assistant or with a friend or someone maybe with you in person to set up one of these. Now, just a caveat here, we have no idea if you can still even find these anywhere.
I don't believe you can. I found actually at Newegg.
Oh, yeah, Newegg. Woohoo.
I did a search. I don't even think Newegg's even in business
I was going to say, are they even in business now? I used to love Newegg, man.
I don't know, but I did find it. And, of course, I don't remember the model or the brand.
Well, we have the brand written down, so we'll put that. It's like Promella or Promilla
yeah,
or something like that.
It's a good coffee maker
Yes, it's
brand.
one that those of you who know coffee makers would know this brand. I did when he told me. I was like, oh, yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the kitchen, and we're going to play with the coffee maker. Now, I'm just going to use water because I don't really want to make any coffee, so we're just going to use water. And we're going to fill it up and see what we can do with it.
What are the other 2 buttons on the right-hand side, by the way?
Yeah, good call. Those are the talk button on the top right and the start-stop brewing on the bottom right.
What does the talk button do? Is that the one you speak to it?
Yep. That is the one that you hit. And I'm going to grab the pot. And we're going to fill it with water. And this is literally just water. We're going to boil water here. So we're going to flip up the top lid. And I'm going to pour the water into this attached reservoir. I just thought this was kind of neat to show, so put the pot under so it doesn't make a mess. And I'm going to follow the cord because I don't remember if we plugged it in. It is plugged in. So I'm going to hit the top right button.
Would you like to set the clock or set the coffee brewing time?
Battery 5%.
Would you like to set the clock or set the coffee brewing time?
9:33 a.m. and 56 seconds.
Set the clock.
Please say the time, including AM or PM.
9:33 a.m.
The clock is set for 9:33 a.m.
Very cool. That did work. Okay. So what we're going to do is close that lid. And then I'm going to hit the talk button again.
Would you like to set the clock or set the coffee brewing time?
Coffee brewing time.
Please say the time you would like to brew your coffee, including AM or PM.
9:36 a.m.
The brew time is set for 9:36 a.m.
Now, there's no way to check the time, so we don't know how long this is going to take to start brewing. But once it does start to brew, it's going to say something like starting to brew.
Yep, you can stand there for 3 minutes till it does. We will edit out time if necessary. Now, when you press the talk button, are you pressing and holding, or is it just listening to you for a set period of time after you press the talk button?
You are pressing it, and then you're listening for the prompt, and then you respond.
So you're not pressing continuously?
No, you are not. So that's kind of the cool thing about this, is that it does work, and it does work still. It's not connected to the internet, which is ultimately probably a good thing, but we'll see.
Now, obviously, we put no coffee in here, so we're not going to get the lovely aroma of fresh ground coffee.
No, we're not, but that's okay. I don't want coffee right now, so this is why we're not wasting a pot.
Remember a few podcasts ago, we did mention some cool coffee accessories that y'all might want to think about if this is your thing. One of which was a scoop that will allow you to get just the right amount of coffee into your coffee basket or whatever you have.
Yeah, and it has a funnel. It's the one with the funnel. So the funnel goes over the scoop, and then you flip the scoop. Once the scoop's in your can of coffee or bag of coffee or whatever, then you can then use it to funnel the coffee in. And that would work good for this type of situation too.
Definitely. It's kind of universal if you're a coffee lover. I would think even if you need to put beans in the grinder.
Yeah, you probably could use that then.
Would work for something like that.
Sure.
I love finding little gadgets with multi-use jobs.
Start brewing.
And there you go. So it has a 2-hour shut-off time. So to keep your pot warm for 2 hours, and then it will shut off. I just started to play with this morning. So I'm not sure if it speaks anything when the timer goes off. It probably does not. And I don't know if you can hear the dripping of the coffee maker. And if there was coffee grounds in there, it'd be starting to smell pretty good.
So there's our Premilla old blast from the past talking coffee maker. Now, you were telling me earlier that they actually still make something kind of similar to this?
Well, sort of. It requires your A-friend in order to work. If you go on Amazon and search for, let's say, smart coffee maker that works with ALEXA, and then you get a whole bunch of coffee makers that can be controlled by your voice assistant. The problem is, as we might surmise, at least the one I looked at, it was a Hamilton Beach. It was a carafe maker as well as a K-cup machine. So you could use your voice to control the coffee maker. The problem is that it's touchscreen. At least that one was touchscreen. Now, we have a Keurig.
I was just about to say that.
Right. That I think we may have demoed years ago in the podcast. And it's one that's controlled by your voice assistant. And that one actually has buttons. It's a K-Cup K Supreme. It is not the cheapest coffee maker on the block.
And we don't use a lot of its features anymore, and we don't even use it with A-Lady anymore because it comes offline all the time.
Well, all the time. It dropped off. It might have been when we switched networks or something along the way. I'm not sure.
But getting it back on the network is an act of Congress.
Well, yeah, we didn't bother.
It's so hard because you really would have to use some kind of visual interpreting service or a person to help with that, because that part is real difficult to do without some level of sight.
We almost had it once, and I moved the phone away from the coffee maker, and it dropped before it could get back online. And I'm like, well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
And he tried for probably 30 minutes before
But you had to do certain keystrokes or certain key sequences and hope that you were doing them in the right order, and what have you, before it would even go into like a, quote, pairing mode type of deal.
My issue with A-Lady skills right now currently is so many of the skills that I've used for years, you can't even use their full functionality anymore. For instance, an ask command, ask blah to do blah. For me, those don't even work anymore. Any kind of ask command, which used to work flawlessly and beautifully. So many of these developers have developed skills And now only some of their very core functionality may work. And that's very sad. I'm sure it's because of this ALEXA Plus thing that they're trying to get integrated. And no, we haven't seen that yet. Can't speak to whether or not that makes things come back magically online that we had initially for free and now no longer have. So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about, but it definitely makes me a little less willing and excited to announce anything with a skill. While many of them may work still perfectly, many do not. At least from my experience.
The interesting thing that I found out about the Hamilton Beach that I was looking at online is it did not have its own skill like our fan that we demoed a few episodes ago. You actually add it through the ALEXA app. So you can, like the fan, control it through the ALEXA app itself, which, you know, it was a $120 coffee maker. So if that's something that anybody's interested in, if I didn't have the K Supreme, I probably would end up with something like that, just to see how it works. But again, you lose connection to that skill or that voice assistant, your coffee maker is a nothing. If I lose internet, I can access my coffee maker currently the way it stands now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you know which buttons are where.
Yes, I do.
So you can still at least do your brew. Now, you can't do the smart stuff when it's connected to the internet with our Keurig. If it's connected to the net, you can actually see what you just put into brew, which is cool.
And it sets it.
And it sets it, yeah. The optimum brewing time, temp, whatever.
From the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a little too fancy. It's not something we have to have all the time. And clearly, because we're not using all those features currently, because again, it went offline and now we can't get it back.
Right.
So it's kind of unfortunate.
I'm not going to bother somebody to get my coffee maker online.
No, you like to call those first world problems, and it's very true.
Yeah.
So might we, after having this cup of coffee, and we're all caffeinated up, and maybe it's almost time for work, but maybe we have a little time left, perhaps we want to go on a walk.
Or count your steps.
Or count your steps on your walk.
Right.
We found something hilarious, and this is a quirky thing that he and I both love because we're both kind of quirky to begin with, and we think we have healthy senses of humor. We found something that we absolutely love, and it's a step counting app, but not just any step counting app. It does it with humor and a little snark, and that's right up my alley, and it's called StepUp.
STEPUP. Search for that in the App Store if you care. One of the cool things that we can do is we can invite our friends to our step counting app and have little competitions during the day. Like, I'm better than you because I took more steps than you.
Now, the other fun thing about it is there's a friends section and a family section.
Well, the family section I added.
Oh, you added family.
Yes.
Okay. So you could add additional categories of people like
different groups,
colleagues,
yes,
or, you know, people at yoga class, or, you know, whoever, my neighbor, John, you know, whatever. And you can have your own categories of people to add. The people who come walk my dog during the week, you know, whatever, and see what they do with their steps. But there's also two bots, and I think these are hilarious.
They're funny.
There's ChillBot and ActiveBot. And they take a certain number of steps during the day. So sometimes you'll get notifications that say, "Yay, you've overtaken ChillBot." It's like, yay.
Yay for ChillBot.
Yay for ChillBot.
44 a.m.
So we're going to show you this. Do we know yet if this is on Android?
I do not. No.
I don't either, but I will check for y'all.
Post-production note, there is an Android version, and it works just fine. Open StepUp.
Step up. Steps today.
So we got...
Month. Button. Week. Gear shape. Button. Gear shape. Button.
So that's settings.
That's settings, and that's the top of the screen. So now I'm going to flick to the right.
Step up. Heading. Notifications. Button. Invite friends. Button. Selected. Today. Button. 1 of yesterday. Button. 2 a week. Button. 3 a month. Button. 4 steps today. 2,509. Button. Forward. Button. Right 1.1 miles. Middle dot 220 cows. Middle dot 1 floor.
So that's cool. It does a very good job of counting your floors as well.
And notice that it had, and he didn't let those read, but notice that it had the 4 filters up above that.
Yes.
So you could do day,
week, month.
What was the other one?
2,005 steps today. Month. Button. Week. Yesterday. Button. Selected.
Today, yesterday. So you have today, yesterday,
Week, but month.
Week
button,
and month.
Steps to 2000.
I thought it said 104, 204.
1.1 miles, middle dot 220 cals, middle dot 1 floor.
and you can
So-
turn calories on or off, the type of calories you want to know that you've burned.
Friends,
And there's friends,
family,
and there's the family one that I created. I'm going to go back to friends.
friends,
Go here.
friends, family. 1. Christopher, 2509, now. Act 2, Active Bot, 2007, now.
Good, I'm better than ActiveBot.
3. Chillbot, 435, now. Actions available.
Chillbot is lazy. Now we have actions that are available, so let's see what they are.
Hide,
You can hide,
activate,
or you
default.
can
Or activate.
So if I activate
Selected.
Chillbot,
Messages. Button. 1 of stats. Button. 2. Wednesday, May 14th. You won with 5,618 steps trophy. Chillbot had 2,027 steps. Thursday, May 15th. You won with 5,430 steps trophy. Chillbot had 2,386 steps.
So you beat Chillbot.
Friday, May 16th. You won with 4,789 steps trophy. Chillbot had 2,205 steps.
so now I'm going to go back.
And yes, we're aware that our step counts are atrocious lately.
Thursday, 3. Invite your friends.
Let's see.
1, 2. Active 1. Family. Family.
I'm going to go hit family here. Now this thing is going to change.
1. Christopher Nova, 2,509, ones ago.
1
up or
second
down to
ago.
select 2. Kim Nova, 154, 1 hour ago.
That is wrong.
Swipe up or down to select a custom action.
Now-
and double tap to activate.
This is the one thing I don't like. It says 1 hour ago, and that's crap, by the way, 154 steps, so I don't know what's up with that. But that's, number one, it's wrong, because it's an hour ago. So it's
Right.
not accurate. It's
So
not
it
up to date.
updates when it wants to, apparently.
And I don't know how to, I've tried refreshing.
Oh, hold
2.
up.
Kim Nova, 154, 1 hour ago.
What?
Group total steps.
I did refresh.
2,663.
That doesn't do anything.
2.
Oh,
Kim Nova.
okay. I thought it did.
No, I've tried that, and that's the problem. I'm still sitting there on 154 steps. I wonder if you go into me, if it would change me.
1. Crit 2. Kim Nova. Selected. Messages. Button. Stats. Button. Friday, May 16th. You won with 4,789 steps trophy. Kim had 4,626 steps. Close call.
That's cool.
Saturday, May 17th. Kim won with 7,374 steps. You had 4,215 steps.
Creamed you that day.
Yep.
Sunday, May 18th. You won with 7,000.
Okay, so that's kind of cool. Let's see what happens. And we're going to pick on Kim. So I'm going to go to the top.
Kim N. Person.badge. Minus. Button. Selected. Messages. Button. 1 of stats. Button. 2 of 2.
Let's see what stats
Selected.
do.
Stats.
Oh, please
2 of
no.
2. Versus 2,509. Steps today. 154. 3,254. Yesterday. 4,380. 5,738.1.
No, I don't know if I
I
like
don't know
this
if I
one
like
better.
that.
Step up. Kim N. Step up. Back button.
It's better to not go
2.
there.
Kim Nova.
But anyway,
154.
But look,
No.
I'm still at 154.
You are, but that's all right.
Well, it's not, because it doesn't tell me what I'm really stepped.
Well, you need to open your step app, maybe.
Maybe. I can't do it now because I'm recording on my phone.
Group
But
total steps 2,663.
But that's neat. It tells you groups total steps. You have
So that's
5
family.
people playing around in here. Then you're going to get a nice little step count.
Invite people to group.
I can invite people to the group.
Invite people to group 2. 1.
Now.
Step gear shape. Button.
Let's-
Settings.
There's no
2.
tabs at the bottom.
Gear shape.
So
Gear shape. Gear shape.
Let's
Button.
go into settings here.
Settings. Heading. Done. Button. Sync with wearable. Apple Watch. Button.
sync with wearable. I'm going to double tap this.
Step Up will read steps from Apple Health, which combines steps synced from your Apple Watch and your phone. Note: manually added steps in Apple Health are not counted to prevent misuse.
I bet I know why it's only giving me 154. Because I only put my watch on like an hour ago.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Steps from phone 2,331. Apple Health 2,509. Note: we use the higher of the two values. Disconnect Apple Health button. Disconnect Apple Health.
So that's cool. So,
Note: we
Didn't
use
even
the
mention
sync
your
with
watch,
wearable
though, which was
Apple Watch
interesting.
button.
no, because it's getting it from Apple Health.
Health, yeah.
Which the phone and the watch are feeding it to Apple Health.
right.
Done. Sync with
So-
wearable. Daily step goal 4,000 button.
So he's got a low step goal right now.
You can change your step goal. Go into there.
Daily step goal. Done. Button 4,000. Decrement. Button. Increment. Button.
See?
I'm going to...
Increment. Decrement 4,500.
There we go. I'll put
So-
it there for now.
Dec-
Yeah.
increment. Experts recommend walking 5,000, 10,000 steps a day for a healthy lifestyle. 1,000 steps take just till 8 minutes.
That's makes it seem so bad.
I know.
Experts recommend ink deck 4000 done.
So-
Daily done.
Let's go done.
Done. Daily step goal. Distance unit. Me. Button.
So, Miles.
Dark theme. System. Button. Calorie tracking. Active cows. Button.
So, you've got active cows and you've got
Show
all
calories
cows.
burned. Active. But enter details to calculate cows. Heading.
We're not going to show you
We're
that.
not going to show you that.
Calorie profile. Heading. Settings. Back button. Calorie tracking. Active cow. Update profile. Invite friends. Hidden friends. Button. Manage groups. Sign out. Help and feedback. Write a review. Show us some love. Read. Buy us a coffee. Support our work and mission. Hands raised in celebration. We're on a mission to make being active more fun and social. Thank you for joining us. We're on a mission to make...
It's kind of fun. I really like it.
I like it a lot. Can we show them ActiveBot before we leave?
Write a review.
No, because
Show us some love.
ActiveBot might be more than I'm willing to show.
Help and feed. Sign out.
Let's see.
Set it done.
Go done.
We saw ChillBot earlier.
2. Kim's group total steps. 2.
Gotta give a little love to
1. Friends.
ActiveBot.
Friends. Family.
So remember, your bots are in the
2,500.
friends
In the
section.
friends. Now, I should have just put us both in friends so that we could see us along with the other two instead of going into family. I might actually do that.
2. Active bot. 2043 now.
There we go.
Actions available. Hide. Activate. Default. 3. Chillbot. 443 now. Swipe up or
So
down to select
Chillbot
custom action, then double
is-
tap to activate.
Chillbot.
2. 1. Christopher. 2509
Oh,
now.
see, it orders them in the one who has the most steps and then goes to the least steps. So right now, I'm above ActiveBot.
Family. 1. 2. 3. Invite your friend.
So if I go
1.
to
Christopher. 2. Active bot.
Active
Messages.
bot.
Button.
Now-
1. Selected. Stats. But versus 2509. Steps today. 2104. 3254.
Let me see.
Active bot. Person.badge.minus. Button. Messages. Button. 1 of 2.
Let's see what that
Selected.
is.
Messages.
Messages.
Stats. Button. Wednesday, May 14th.
That's a little
Active
bit
bot
better.
10,025 steps. You had 5,618 steps.
So they want you to walk your 10,000 steps. So ActiveBot always gets
10,000
steps.
Thursday, May 15th, active bot 1 with 10,384 steps. You had 5,430 steps.
Okay, that's just going to make you look bad.
Friday,
It is.
May 16th, active bot 1 with 10,203 steps. You had 4,789 steps.
But that's cool, though.
I think if it would ever really become spring here, I would feel more like walking. And I know that's a terrible excuse, but it's just one of those things where it's like, man, it's never going to get warm, and I just want to cuddle up and don't want to walk.
This is a free app,
Very cool.
and you can, as you saw in the settings, buy them a cup of coffee.
Yep.
Basically a donation. I did that within 5 minutes of having it installed.
Definitely
because
support your app developers, y'all.
I was so thrilled with the way that this worked.
It's just fun. It's so fun.
You know what's not fun?
What?
Breaking your screen on your phone.
No. When did you do that?
I didn't.
Tell us.
I used to have this Speed Dots screen protector, which was a film over the screen protector, and it had the little dots on it. Those
If you
of
go way back in the archives, you'll find an interview with
Right.
Amy from Speed Dots.
Right. But Speed Dots, I'm not quite sure if it's still
I think.
available. I'm not sure. I went to the website, speeddots.com, and it said that the company was acquired and they're waiting to put it back online. Now, I love those Speed Dots. Don't need them, but I love them. I think they're great. Anyway, the other day I was working with my phone, and over the while, the screen has been less responsive to
And he's been
touches.
complaining about it. He's been saying, why is my screen so unresponsive when I'm doing certain things?
Like half the bottom, I'd have to put my finger somewhere else in order to get it to work or respond.
Well, he solved that mystery the other day.
Yeah. So I actually pulled off the adhesive part of the Speed Dots screen protector and found out, to my utter amazement, that my screen protector was shattered at the bottom.
Badly
So-
shattered.
Badly shattered to the point where I put this adhesive Speed Dots back on so that, you wouldn't cut your fingers or whatever, and promptly ordered another screen protector.
A non-Speed Dots
Right.
screen protector.
Just a screen
Yeah.
protector.
Tempered glass.
What happened is I was able to, when I got the new screen protector, I pulled the shattered one off, and to my delight, there was nothing wrong with my screen.
The one you had was a tempered glass speed dots protector, and it did what tempered glass is supposed to do and protected your phone. It sacrificed itself
To protect your phone.
to protect your phone.
Right. Now, that may not always be a good story for people. I mean, we do drop our phones and stuff.
We do.
Which does happen, and I'm sure that that's one of the reasons why the screen protector shattered like it did. I didn't know it was shattered because of the adhesive over the tempered glass for the dots. But once I figured that out, it was good. Just to keep in mind that if you have a phone, an iPhone, an Android phone, make sure you get a screen protector or a nice protected case, because they will only drop so many times before you're going to be going to the Apple store or the Android place where you're going to get your phones from and have to buy a new phone or get your screen replaced.
And here's another piece of advice along those same lines. If you're getting tempered glass, don't get the cheap tempered glass. I broke mine recently. It cracks diagonally across the bottom of the screen. I think I just dropped it on the kitchen floor or something. Not a good thing to do to your phone if you can help it.
She was going for that coffee from the coffee
Apparently,
maker.
I was doing something. It completely, like I said, broke it diagonally across the bottom. And I thought, this is only going to get bigger. And it slowly began to get bigger over time. And this was my screen protector, not my phone's screen, thankfully. It was a cheaper screen protector. I mean, it wasn't great. We ended up getting a set of new screen protectors. They're much better. So even all your tempered glass is not the same. I think the one I have now, it even feels significantly better than the one I was using prior. So just kind of pay attention to reviews, and I'm sure there are articles that will say, this brand is better than this brand of tempered glass. And, depending on where you read them, like your CNETs or some of these places, you may be able to find a really good brand to consider. That is not a good place to skimp, is when you're trying to protect your phone. I had a beautiful case for my phone one time, dropped it, and my case shattered. And I'll never get that beautiful case back because it shattered, but I paid like $4 for it on eBay, So sometimes it really pays to actually put good stuff on your machine because it's a computer.
But it protected your phone.
It did protect my phone, yes. It sacrificed itself to protect my phone. It ultimately did its job, but had it not been so cheap, it probably wouldn't have shattered. Because it was the case, You just got to be careful what you get. If it looks like, hey, I can get a tempered glass screen protector for $1, I wouldn't do it.
Let's talk about other things that are obsolete.
Yeah, this wasn't the fun part of our week.
We all know and love Google.
We do?
Yeah. We know we love Google, and we also know that Google has a habit of sunsetting things.
Without telling anyone.
Without telling anybody. Or if they do, they don't make a big deal about it. They just sunset stuff.
Case in point.
Case in point. So, in the past, we've got these Nest Protect smoke detectors and CO detectors all in one unit. And for those who don't know, if you have an old smoke detector that you're using and it's past 10 years, you might want to replace it.
That was what we were talking about at the beginning. We were going to share a public service announcement with y'all.
Right.
If your smoke detectors are more than 10 years old, get rid of them. Put in a new one. They will eventually die. And what's up with that? Why is that the case? It's not just a matter of replacing your batteries.
It's not. It's a matter of the sensors. The sensors wear out, I guess. They only have a life of 10 years. So what happened the other day is we were testing a smoke detector, and we heard this message.
Heads up. Nest Protect will expire in the family room. Replace Nest Protect soon.
So it doesn't say...
In the family room. Press to test.
It does not say replace batteries. It says replace the whole machine.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out that this one actually has an expiration date of August 5th.
And we found that out through our Google Home app.
The problem with Google, as I said earlier, is Google decides that it wants to sunset or discontinue products. They had a security system that they discontinued. I was looking online. These aren't the cheapest smoke detectors on the planet.
They are not.
They were not. I went on Amazon, try and find them, $250. I'm like, no way. No way for one smoke detector. The problem is now is we have a smoke detector that's dying. I went on eBay and I found a couple that were used. They even said they were used for like $75. The problem is you don't know how used they are. Now, if you're talking about this one has the expiration date of August 5th, 2025, then who knows what you're going to buy on eBay for $75. Is it going to allow you to get more life out of your smoke detector? Could be 5 years, could be 7 years, could be 3 years. And you're thinking, why am I looking on Amazon and eBay for this type of smoke detector? Well, it's because I went to the Google website, shop or store.google.com, either one, I forget which one. And they had it on their website, but they said, we discontinued these, and here is another replacement that's comparable. So they're not in the smoke detector business anymore. So now you have all these different smoke detectors with different expiration dates, and they have to be slowly replaced.
And the real bummer about this is we have one dying this year. We have one dying next year. I think we have two dying the next year. And we have one that'll work through 2029 in our master bedroom. And that's it. So slowly over the course of the next 5 years, we have to replace all of our Nest Protects.
Which is unfortunate because they weren't cheap to begin with.
No. It's very annoying. And they take really expensive batteries too.
They do. So on that note, we're going to end the podcast because
we haven't gotten a replacement yet.
We have not.
We know what we're going to get.
Right.
And we will be sharing that with you in the next podcast. So if you're in this boat, or if you find yourself looking for something new, we're going to test ours out and show you what we think of it. We'll probably test it honestly before we record, but we will give you our thoughts and we will test it again and show you live what it's all about. This one works partially through an app. So I don't know how much you can actually do by pressing buttons. Like on this one, the one we have, the Nest, you can test, you can find out battery, all that through just pressing the button.
Yeah, it'll tell you the battery's low. I believe this new one does the same thing. It has this location thing, which is very important to us. Because when a fire event goes off, these ones here, these Nest Protects, this is one of the reasons I had them, is because it would say there's smoke in the dining room or smoke in the kitchen or wherever you have them, so that you know where the issue is. If you're upstairs in your bedroom and you hear smoke in your kitchen, you'll know that there's a problem in the kitchen.
And if you need to evacuate, you evacuate through the living room door, not through the kitchen.
Right.
And one thing that happened to us last week, we knew this one was expiring. We knew the thing was going to die. And we got our first false alarm ever here in my office. And it was scary.
Yeah. You're like, what?
We were standing there kind of like, is there really something wrong? And it was like, emergency, evacuate,
Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah. But you have, those options. That location thing, as I said, is very important to us at least. Because you want to know where that thing is.
You don't want to run through the smoke or walk through the smoke if you don't have to. Mm-hmm. I mean, there may be situations where, unfortunately, you're going to have to get on your hands and knees and crawl through and try and get out safely.
I've never had an experience of a fire, but my best friend had an experience of a fire. And not even of his own accord. It was the downstairs neighbor who had a fish tank and a few other things plugged into one of the most cheapest extension cords.
Please don't do that, y'all.
It overloaded and set the whole house on fire, and he lost everything. The funny part about his situation, I say it because it's kind of funny now, is...
This was a long time ago.
It was on April 1st, and he calls his work. And he says, I can't come in today because my house burned down, or is burning down. It's literally burning down as he's standing outside watching the house burn down. And work thought he was faking it because of it being April Fool's Day. So they actually sent someone to his house to make sure that he wasn't lying.
Yep. So please don't do something like that. That's another thing. It's kind of like a smoke detector. Don't skimp on your surge protectors, stuff like that. Please don't.
Right.
Because you can be in a world of hurt.
Make sure that they're rated for what you want to plug into them.
Please. That's why you check your voltage on things and make sure that you're going to have enough power for it. Especially when we have these things like Braille displays and some of these less mainstream products that we know cost a lot of money. you don't want to fry one of those, and you certainly don't want to set anything on fire.
No. I think the setting it on the fire is the worst.
That's
obviously.
absolutely true. Absolutely
because
true.
In his situation, it wasn't even his situation. It was somebody else's.
Yeah, we had an incident close to our home where a house literally exploded and took out 2 other houses.
They still don't know what.
They still don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, crazy things like that happen more than you want to think. So, sorry to end this on a somber note, but this stuff really is important, and we're sorry to tease a segment, but we think it's important to share this stuff with you, and once we know more, we will be sharing with you next time. Hope you have a great rest of May. We will see you guys in June.
Bye.
Bye.
The preceding podcast is a presentation of Mystic Access, where the magic is in learning. If you are blind or visually impaired and wish to experience less stress and more fun on your unique assistive technology journey, our comprehensive audio documentation and additional offerings are here to support you. We welcome your visit at mysticaccess.com. That's mysticaccess.com. Have a question or wish to place an order via phone? Call us at 716-543-3323. If you have comments to share about this episode, follow our phone menu prompts to reach our Mystic Access podcast comment line. Email us at info@mysticaccess.com and connect with us on social media, Mastodon, mysticaccess.online, and facebook.com/mysticaccessempower. Would you like to spread the word about our podcasts? Anyone may explore our extensive archives and subscribe to receive our bi-weekly episodes at mysticaccesspodcast.com. If you enjoy our content, please consider rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for spreading the word and for being a listener. We hope you enjoyed this episode.